Well, hello everyone and welcome. We have finally made our way after about, 4 days of Dota play. We were at the Fallout Gaming Major All-Stars tournament that will be taking place in Malaysia for the LAN final. But we got to determine what teams are going to be qualifying and moving on to that LAN. And we have made it to the finals here of the NA Qualifier. Fire Dota taking on Team eHug. According to Dota 2 Lounge odds, for all you crazy hat bettors out there, it's about a 60% odds favorite for Fire Dota, but I'm expecting a good spicy matchup here. But I'm not going to be going at it alone. For your English coverage, it's myself, KotLGuy, coming from beyond the summit, and I got joining me once again my good buddy David Blaze casting, and as well as KartDota on the stats. Blaze, I want to first and foremost thank you for joining me along this road of NA Dota, and well, are you ready and amped up for some Game 5 potential best of 5 final hype? I have myself muted on Blaze. Blaze, I'm sorry I had myself muted, so I had this big old intro, and I threw it your way, and then I realized you didn't hear anything I said. So, Blaze, thanks for coming in, my friend. I'm sure you're hyped up and ready for these finals.
Oh, most definitely, man. Especially since we get to see this awesome opener here. We haven't seen the Fluff and Stuff Wisp really come into play in quite some time, but now we get to see it IO paired with Tiny in the opener, and yeah, eHug going with the Batrider Lion. So they're already pretty confident with MJW's skills with the Batrider offlane, and they're going to pick up the best support in the pool right now. With the Chen Venge being banned out, the Lion's the best hero to really deal with a lot of threats and just to control the laning presence. But, of course, they are going to be kind of trumped a little bit if this IO gets out of control. Looking for the early bounty rune, the early bottle, and probably a duo mid lane for IO Tiny. So I'm not exactly sure what eHug are comfortable with running Infinity on the mid lane 1v2, but no matter the case, it's going to be a very hot and heavy match to start us off.
And we're going to start off real quick here. And I know we were talking about this the past couple of days, how a lot of these teams simply seem to ignore, let's say, the Wisp. They don't really care for it. They don't quite have the Wisp player, but of all the teams, Fire Dota definitely does. Lately, it's been Fluff kind of opting for the Wisp role, but more importantly, Ush plays a mean Tiny.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, it is no surprise that if they have the opportunity, they will quickly snag it up and follow with this dynamic duo. So eHug see what's before them here, and they've been taken down before. So with that, they're looking to bring together. They have a strong burst potential with the Lion grab. Of course, Batrider is going to be their formidable off lane with MJW on the line. But look at this. Beastmaster picked up for Fire Dota, so you get the map presence with the bird, plus maybe some fun little boots of travel tactics there. But more than likely, I'm imagining this is going to be an off-lane demon Beastmaster. This guy is also notoriously known for his Beastmaster. Back in the day, he had, I believe it's even his sub-icon on his Twitch channel as well, so I'm already getting pretty hyped up.
Oh yeah, this is just going back to some historical games, some really awesome Beastmaster play, and honestly, hero synergizes really well with IO Wisp. You can go for the BOT plays, jump to the Hawk, and have 3 or 4 people always ready to fight at a moment's notice across the map. Also, he has a really nice attack speed aura, which will help up the Tiny. In conjunction with the overcharge, the Tiny can focus mostly on just building up his max grow, and he'll get the damage that way. So the Aghanim Scepter, maybe still going for the AC Manta build, but still going to have a lot of quick attacks that'll bring down towers extremely fast. Along with that, you get some good control. And one really cool thing is, even before like Blink Daggers and BOTs, if you're in range for a Primal Roar, you can make that relocate play happen. Other times, like you're like, okay, well, relocate, hope they don't blink or force staff out or TP like 5 people into respawn. But you get the Primal Roar, you get that guaranteed setup where you can then follow it up with Avatos right on top, and you can just get kills every let's say 80 seconds, and that's going to be just bringing in a lot of tempo for Fire. So eHug, they have to be a little bit concerned, maybe considering a hero that will negate some of these stuns. The Abaddon's actually really good at that, but I think Team eHug, even though they are up against a very high-presence draft, it's still important that they play their own style, and it really works well when MJW runs the Batrider. Infinity plays kind of that tanky anchor hero as the Viper, and yeah, I think that they're still going to stick to their guns.
Yeah, and a Viper pick certainly kind of stands true to what you say. Infinity's been playing tons of Viper in the mid lane. He knows exactly what he's doing, and it's actually a great counter to someone like Tiny, the big melee dominant force. really can have a struggle against something like the Viper Strike and could be easily, you know, kited around quite a bit. So I love the grab there. They still also need a secondary support on the side of eHug. I wouldn't mind seeing a Witch Doctor. The cast could also work beautifully with the Wisp Tiny matchup there. For Fire Dota, though, it's going to be their grab. They need a secondary, more selfless kind of a support, potentially something there for fucking Mad, who is back, by the way, yesterday in their series against Complexity, I believe, in game number 1. Fucking Mad was playing the Enigma and unfortunately had DC issues and couldn't make it back, so they lost that match, ending up being a 5 vs 4, but then they brought in Whitebeard as a stand-in for the next couple of matches, which they did win those back-to-back, which has allowed them to be here in the final now, but they're going to be giving it another go. Hopefully internet and everything works out good. Hopefully the lag beast is going to be tame, and with that, we'll see what their pickup is going to be for him. Normally on the support role, we've seen him do a lot of the jungling action here. I don't think he's one to play the Wisp himself, so I'm just curious to see. Any candidates pop out to you as far as what could be the support to kind of hold the fort down behind the Wisp?
Oh, that's a tough call. I mean, they've been doing some greedy stuff by running jungling heroes. The Enigma was really good for fucking Mad, but I think it's important that he actually just plays like a good lane support with a stun opener. They're gonna have Clockwork for now as actually an interesting pickup because of the fact that that's their potentially. Could this be a support Beastmaster? Could they run Clockwork offlane for Demon and then actually run fucking Mad on a support Beast?
The 4-position Beastmaster has been done before on EG when Zai was still part of the team. I want to say it was done at TI4 as well, but I can't recall correctly. But definitely Zai has played that role in that kind of a position. Can be aggressive early on. Could also be a support Clockwork. Hell, I've even seen that. I believe in DAC it was picked up at one point. So really it does leave you a bit perplexed as far as the laning setup right here for Fire. I'm sure eHug are going to be feeling the same way, and they could obviously play an audible and change that depending upon how eHug draft these next 2 picks too.
If I had to call it, I would say they're going to run the Beastmaster safe lane. Maybe Brax could pick that up, run it as a safe lane Beastmaster, get the BOTs up really early for him. Maybe a Blinker, Aghanim Scepter, get involved. Necronomicon's not too bad either. And no matter what he builds up, he's going to be getting that tempo and getting that early farm in a way that Beastmasters usually don't. This would leave Iotine to be pretty happy in the mid, and Clockwork will still get his level 6 in the off lane. So essentially, they create so many openings for pickoffs all across the map. They get the hookshot cogs for relocate setup, the Primal Roar, maybe with a Blink Dagger to help that out, will set up the relocate, and it's going to actually be pretty easy to break down eHug. One thing as far as their overall strategy, a lot is in Yuar's pocket as far as trying to really emphasize getting that crazy farm, and that means overextending in positions that are vulnerable. So if you get good heroes to lock down whatever he picks up, not going to be the Slark or the Morphling this time around, but if you get good heroes to counteract Yuar, to get multiple kills on him throughout the game, you're going to be overall gaining that net worth advantage, and that's going to be really nice for you. And I've seen 4-position Beastmaster, and it can definitely work. But one thing I was talking to Ush about the other day, he said that fucking Mad's actually the shot caller for Fire, so that's really been hurting them when he's not been involved, when he's been stood in for their team. And I think he wants to be like not too focused on what he's doing. He wants to be moving around the map, making the initiations happen, and setting things up nicely. It still can work for the support Beastmaster, but I think a couple more item-independent supports could do that more efficiently because they don't have to worry about their own farm.
Yeah, definitely this 5th pick will we'll get our answers that we've been waiting for. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if Brax just takes Beastmaster to the mid lane, if the Wisp Tiny in the safe lane position, Clockwork in the off. I mean, if this is going to be more of a support grab, I would wager that's going to be the case. Final bans, though, that had come out. Fire got rid of the Earthshaker. They rid of the Slark. And Team eHug, they removed the Axe as well as the Storm Spirit. And with the last grab here, it is going to be the Zeus. Blaze, I'm still just as perplexed. I really don't know where it's going to be. I mean, this could be a mid lane Zeus. It could be that support Zeus, and it could still be mid lane Beastmaster. It's potentially a fair amount of greed across this team. My guess is as good as yours for right now.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to call the player to the hero, but the important thing is the synergy that this lineup has. And the most important thing that they across the board are providing is vision. The Greater Hawk, the Rocket Flare, and the Thunder God's Wrath. All 3 will be scouting opportunities. They see an opportunity where they can single somebody out, either them completely isolated or they can take a favorable 3v2. They're going to jump on those opportunities. And we've actually seen a couple of teams run this in the Chinese scene. We saw a couple of teams do it in DAC, and it was always about the the vision that was provided. That was what allowed them to make the right calls, and it is going to be a support Beastmaster, assuming they don't swap. Fucking mad.
Yeah, and with that final grab there from eHug, Yawar, who's been kind of the star child of this team, we saw him yesterday pull out their third win, and it was on the back of his precious signature Morphling. What did he end up going? Like 13, 14, and 0. Didn't even have to drop a death. I believe that's 2 games I've seen him play that Morphling without dying whatsoever. Absolutely ridiculous play from him. He knows how to find the farm when it seems like even his whole team is restricted from access to any sort of easy, reliable gold. He just finds a way. Medusa certainly will be one to need the farm. If she can get to the late game, there is definitely strong potential there, but that is a big question here. Both teams have very formidable grabs, and without further ado, Blaze, we'll kind of get underway here. I actually need to do a quick swap of this hotkey right here, but this is going to be a best of 5 matchup, not the best of 3 like we've been seeing up to this point. eHug, Fire, one team is going to be the invited guest to move on to the Malaysian LAN final. The other one, their road ends here. I'll lead off your introductions. Radiant side for eHug, we have none other than MJW, who's going to be playing the off-lane Bat Rider along the bottom. We got early movement coming out. Johnny W, or Mr. Johnny Walker, also known as Trouf, is going to be playing your support Leshrek. We got Yawar, the Star One himself. He's going to be playing your Medusa. Nearby, we got Infinity playing his Viper, and that will leave, of course, Ryuza playing the Lion. Probably happy to not be playing Vengeful Spirit. I believe he played Vengeful Spirit almost in every game yesterday. So happy to change things up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the heroes are too different. Lion is still willing to control the team fights in a very similar manner with the Hex and the Earth Spike, but there are significant differences, and one would be the big laser zap. Oh, but gets an unfortunate D-Ward to start himself off here. The eastern side of the raid jungle, just outside the circle. He is going to be that Observer Ward, just very expertly placed by Demon there. He's going to have a really good time cog blocking the lane and having all the vision he needs to control the bottom rune and spot the ganks coming.
Begins. I want to give a quick shout out to Ush's cosmetic stick item he's got there. Autograph from Merlini, myself, Mott, and Mike. Where are they at, though? So we'll see if he can end up putting it to good use here in this first game matchup. As we see their trifecta of a lane gets set up, it is going to be Ush and Fluff hand in hand here in the top lane. And yeah, your shot caller here for fucking Mad on his support style Beastmaster, very decorated right now. Going to give that side vision, maybe pull some easy stacks if he has to use the axes to do so, but he leads off, of course, with his summons. Very happy with the recent buff changes, of course, to the Beastmaster. He has been graced by the good god of Ice Frog himself, now getting the benefit of having both the bird and the boar, and he'll start the pulls there. Brax now going toe-to-toe with Viper. CS is going to be a bit tricky for him, but he is going to be able to burst down when necessary, so we'll see if he's able to hold his own. And, of course, Demon and his formidable off-lane position. I was kind of banking it was going to be the good old Jimmy Beastmaster, but that is not going to be the case. I wager he'll be able to get close enough and find plenty of XP and get the levels necessary.
Yeah, it was a very interesting decision to see Fire actually give the bounty rune to the Beastmaster. I think bounty runes would definitely help him kind of get off his feet, get to that level 6 much more rapidly, but it does mean that Fluff and stuff doesn't get the bottle outright, which means the courier is going to be in use. Like we see Zeus getting his bottle and crowing it. Yeah, Brax is going to be sending his bottle back home before Fluff even gets the chance to put his on the courier. So a lot of time where Wisp doesn't get to benefit from that tether regen, but even still, if they control the 2-minute spawn, the Viper is not really going to be contesting it heavily, and MJW, he's already burned his Firefly.
And here you see heavy punishment as Infinity takes to the high ground and dishes out the serious right-click there under Brax, forcing him back and forced to dip into the regen. He'll need that bottle before he can get any sort of extra sustain in the lane, and he'll wait for that. But yeah, as far as Beastmaster taking the bounty rune, maybe hoping he gets that level 2 very quick and then goes on the prowl, or at least puts up strong contention at the top rune, which seems to be the case. It's going to be popping up here. This time it looks like Fluff is going to get a piece of that little bit of a coin pie right there. So already secured his bottle himself. They head back towards the top lane. Bottom, though, Demon got to get muscled back, pops the cogs, and make sure Ryuza's not going to get too close with his DD. He was just picked up, and Demon will find his way back into the lane.
That was actually a really close call. With the help of this Observer Ward vision, he was able to juke a stun in the river initially. He actually dodged it out just narrowly, and that meant that he didn't take that extra bit of damage, and the Lion didn't get ever closer to him with that double damage rune. And the cogs were also perfect, burning the Leshrek's mana so that he couldn't follow it up with slows or stuns. So I actually couldn't have gone better for Demon, and he's just feeling actually pretty confident here, although he is lacking on experience. The one thing is, although he has great vision, he doesn't have the pull on lockdown, and Tralf is making sure the Creequilibrium stays back for Yawar.
And that's where you got to do the old clockwork tactic, drop the cogs, get that Creequilibrium by the tower by blocking him quite a bit in hopes that you can just get close enough to leech that little bit of XP. So he'll work with that for now. It looks like your Bat Rider, MJW, forfeited the lane temporarily to head off to the jungle, at least to build up a little bit of funds. He goes with the early smoke grab here. Maybe looking to get proactive, something you don't suspect. Maybe also banking on the chance that, and with this ward they have, they know that this Wisp is probably looking to make stacks happen, and he would love to be able to snipe it. And actually, he is beelining it that way right now. With level 2 Firefly, he could bring them down. I'm curious if that's what's on the agenda right now for him.
Yeah, the ward certainly helps. We saw them actually use this kind of an observer ward to steal a ton of stacks from the Sand King yesterday, and that was really helpful for their early game. I don't think they actually won that game in the end, but man, that was a really intense grab that shifted the gold a lot. But it's actually not even been the Wisp that has to go and rotate to stack it. It's actually the board doing it for them. The Micro from fucking Mad, he's stacking this up for his team, and that's going to be a lot of gold going to the Tiny Wisp, most likely. And that'll help Tiny maybe even go for the Midas to try to compete with Yawar. If you look at Yawar's current items, he's got the Bassi and the boots, but he still has 800 saved up. Now this could just be phase, could just be for movement and right click, but if he does want to make sure that he's got the mid to late game supremacy, the extra experience as well as gold provided by Midas is something that's hard to beat.
Certainly so, and again, Mad will be right on the rune here, guarding it, watching it on out. He'll put a little bit of extra vision towards the top lane. Brax is going to be able to snag up that haste rune, puts himself back. Now in this mid lane, Infinity, usually very dominant when he gets a hold of his Vipers. 26-1, Brax 22, just hanging right in there. Right now he's reserving that bit of gold. The early Sobi mask grab, just kind of taking it slow here, trying to get quickly to that level 6. Then they have the global presence to maybe make something happen here, but it seems like very methodical play from both sides. Typically your Wisp Tinies maybe have opportunity to open up, but MJW's been very reserved, whether he's hopping back to the jungle or kind of scouting out what's happening on the side, not looking to get too involved and get that bird out of here. He's able to burn down and get free 30 gold from that one.
So we actually see a really interesting build coming out from Yawar here. First of all, he's gone 1 point in stats, maxing his Snake and just leaving a simple 1 point wonder point in the mana shield. But the interesting pickup here is actually going to be the power treads. Now, what you can do with Mystic Snake is when you are expertly toggling, you go intelligence for the cast, and then you switch it back to agility, and you actually get a lot more mana back when the Snake comes back to you. But another aspect of this selection is although the right-click damage output is a little bit greater, the movement speed is going to be considerably lacking. So he's not looking to evade the ganks coming in from fire, the hooks, the relocates, so on and so forth. He sees that coming and he says, okay, well, every time they relocate, I'll just stone ganks. And that's going to be his only option.
Oh, MJW's dead.
That's
wow.
actually very unfortunate.
For the benefit of fucking Matt, he comes over to maybe do another stack. His board scouts out MJW, trying to steal it. Gets it very low, and, well, he pulls out the axes, get a couple of the gold himself. And at that point, MJW is taking so much damage from the neutrals. And Brax coming in, of course, with his Thunder God's Wrath. They were able to finish him off, though. The neutral did deny him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're making it go on to Jimmy, and there is your first blood. It's Yawar, of all people, who's able to grab it. So eHug technically do strike first on this bottom lane.
Yeah, and I mean, if the Batrunner even gets some of the creeps there, it's still a worthy move. He didn't lose hardly anything at all for the death there. His death cost is quite minimal at only 120. And yeah, they're just going to go ahead and push down bottom. They kill the Clockwork once. The two points of Rocket Flare is going to suppress the lane a little bit, but overall there's going to be a lot of damage coming to this tower, and the fortification is burned, so this 1 point in Edict from Tralf should be able to take this tower within the next 5 minutes.
So with that, MGW tried to reserve and get up enough gold. Maybe he could have bought his Tranquils real quick before going down, but didn't get the luxury to do so. So now he's back working the old-fashioned way in his own jungle here. About 1k gold reserved up for now as he makes the stack happen. Trying to obviously blitz forward and get a hold of that Blink Dagger, but of course that means this top lane setup here. Ush, free roam to work with as far as building up the early CS. He's got the power treads. We'll have to see if he decides to go with the drums build up first, or if he's going to blitz forward and trying to get a hold of the Agnum Scepter sooner than later.
So the cool thing is now Uar is strong enough to actually hold his own in the lane. Right now he is has a lot of right-click damage. The Mystic Snake is maxed out, so anytime the Clockwork comes up, anytime Demon tries to contest the lane, immediately he just loses mana, loses life, and has to walk back. This means the supports can get more active on the other lanes. MJW is going to be in the jungle, but we'll see where the Lion and the Leshrac find themselves. Rizal healing up for now, but I think they're going to make a play towards the mid lane, as Zeus is probably the easiest pick.
So Infinity still holds his own here. He's going right for the mech. Already has the buckler complete and about 400 gold out from just finishing it outright. It's good timing for him. 8-minute rune's about to pop up. Trouf's going to be there first. It's an invis of all the runes. Could be potentially scouted. Fluff's nearby. They both ping at the same exact moment. Now Trouf is going to look to scout probably through the enemy territory, seeing if there's any potential options, and maybe looking around the corner and go for Brax here. Oh, he's thinking about making a go on Fluff. But
that wouldn't actually happen. The tether
Yeah.
would allow him to jump to the lane, so it looks like a dangerous situation, but he actually is probably one of the safer heroes in this particular circumstance. But yeah, where do you think Jimmy's going to find his level 6? Demon right now is not even level 5. He's keeping back to the lane, but Uar's just controlling it so damn well. If farming efficiently, he is pushing a little bit, but overall, it just feels like Demon is a lot slower paced than the Batrider here.
Ooh. We're going to see some jungle farm here. Trouf trying to leech a bit, or at least take a bit there with the lightning storm. He heads his way out. Brax was trying to cut him off maybe on the way out. But as for Demon here in the offlane setup, obviously not really going to be able to work with the jungle too much as it's being occupied. He can't just go to a trade on top lane, as that's where Ush is getting most of his work done. And now they're actually trading it off to fucking Mad so he can get his own personal level 6, maybe thinking that that would be the better level 6 to get online first and foremost. I think Demon's just kind of stuck working with what he's got for now in the lane, even though Uar is going to be reaping in the most rewards. He's got his Ring of Health, Power Tread's already online, 1k gold reserved up, and really not a lot to stop him as long as he can continually dish out the Mystic Snake.
Yep. So we are going to see Ush finish up a few stacks. It is going to give the relocate to the Wisp, which is really huge. He's going to TP back home. We'll see if he actually makes a relocate play or just waits until they see a reactive opportunity more so. The big triggers are going to be the hook shot and the Primal Roar. Primal Roar coming up now, and unfortunately the 3 position hero is a little bit trailing. Clockwork will find his hook shot very shortly, but the Blink Lasso is already online.
Yeah, somehow MJW quickly turns it around. It seemed like a bit of a interesting debacle when he was trying to contest the jungle, but here we go. Maybe just needs that little bit of extra pence to try to get the smoke underway, and then we could see them really look to turn it on up. Zeus could still be the priority target. Can be very squishy and easy to snag without really any sort of escape mechanism, but you got to remember that with these kind of commitments and jumps, there could be quick TP rotations and now relocates on your hands. You got to be able to evaluate the situation good enough that you could quickly turn in what starts as potentially a 2-on-1 into a 2-on-3 or 4.
Definitely. Now, Uar's farm is quite substantial. He's building up his Lincoln Sphere. This is going to mean that he's able to negate potentially the Primal Roar. In fact, he's just not going to be the target for that spell until either the Force Staff is picked up or maybe an Arc Lightning strays on him and he's going to be popped that way. But in another case, he's feeling pretty secure on his lane and he's going to be farming more and more efficiently.
Oh, Matt is dead. They blinked in. They got the lasso. They're going to pull him back into not one but 2 different stuns if they want it. And it's going to be Trouf who finishes him off with the Split Earth. So good grab for them. They meet their quota. They get their first Blink Lasso kill with a smoke. Just pretty much cookie-cutter execution right there from your Batrider, MJW.
Yeah. But as far as the next item for Medusa, whether she goes for the Lincolns first or not, I think that Ayasha needs to come out pretty early on because there's a lot of benefit to having a lot of extra right-click on the Medusa. She's very slow right now with only the treads, so the move speed from Yasha would be nice there. And then the attack speed and attack damage could do a lot for early fights because I actually have the tools to make that happen. If you Blink Lasso and pull somebody back into your team, the Stone Gaze makes it so that Fire have very limited options in how to respond. They have to choose to either rescue their buddy and face the petrification of the Stone Gaze, or just let it lie and make it an easy pickoff. So I think Medusa will probably be fighting a lot earlier than like your, hard ricing, hard carry Medusa, and I think for that reason there will be a lot of merit in building up some early damage.
Well, Brax scouts out a very wounded line in the mid lane, but they go back onto Uar. The relocate's going to be there. Stone Gaze popped out. They look to turn away there, but Ush is going to be rock solid, and we'll have to pull back. So unfortunately, they are not successful in the relocate attempt. and they will head back to base on their merry way. So you are happy. Just kind of has the ejection seat right there with his R-click, and help was nearby as well. So it's only going to be just the one-man takedown. His fire will be able to even things up 2 for 2. But I gotta say, Blaze, I am liking that they're trading off the farm here and letting fucking Mad really go maybe into a core position. He's got his Midas online now. This could potentially be the Zookeeper build up here on your Beastmaster. Having the benefit of a Necro book could work pretty nicely against a Medusa, I'd say.
Yeah, I really think that they're getting the best of both worlds with the potential way they could have ran the lanes for this draft. I mean, we were talking about the support Zeus or the support Beastmaster, and essentially, one way or another, you're kind of wishing that you had a little bit more from either. But in this case, they turned this 4 into a 1 for a short period of time, and this is going to give him not only the Midas, which allows him to say, okay, I can keep fighting and still get an extra oomph of golden experience every 100 seconds, but he's going to get his Roar maxed out a lot sooner in this game, and he can look towards BOTs. BOTs, Blank Aghanims, those kinds of things will really be the difference maker here. You could still also consider a couple of other defensive utility pickups. You could consider the Crimson Guard or Vladimir's to negate some of the damage coming in from the Medusa, or you could go for something more push-oriented with the Necronomicon.
Now Fire look to lay down some pretty aggressive wards. This is to get those pick plays, specifically with that relocate, catching anyone trying to make farm happen here. Trouf is one for now, who could be caught out potentially. Looking at Fluff, he's got relocate at the ready. He is nearby. A couple of friends and allies, of course, in his Ush, and they continue to ping this lane. Trouf could be walking on thin ice here, if not careful, but he is going to make his way towards the mid lane. So the eyes are in the skies here, Blaze, as far as the side of Fire. eHug, though, kind of want to continue to lurk in the shadows. And top lane, they're smoked up, maybe looking to do a bit of deja vu play here. They move forward, they get a hold of fucking Mad. Now they got the finger, and with this burst, they should be able to bring him down pretty easily. Lion's going to be able to pick up that kill, so he boosts up his economy just a little bit further. If he dreams the day of getting that Blink Dagger, it's going to be a little bit easier, but for now, back-to-back takedowns on your Beastmaster.
It is unfortunate for the Beastmaster, but look at Ush. He picks up a 14-minute Aghanim Scepter and immediately goes to the Ancient stack that they've been building up this entire time here, using the overcharge heals to just build it up, making sure it's not warded thanks to Brax's Lightning Bolt, and Ush takes a huge stack. His GPM just jumped up tremendously. He was neck and neck with Viper and Medusa, and now suddenly he is leading by over 1,000.
Ridiculous. Yummy in my tummy here. Ush walks away looking more manly than ever as he gets his level 11 off that one. They get the scout out right there with the Thunder God's Wrath. No one nearby, no one near the Roche Pit. Everyone just kind of back to their laning setup. eHug are happy to kind of take it slow and allow Yawar to really develop into a dominant late game. But with farm like that, they might have their hands full sooner than later and might not have the opportunity to kind of wait out for the long one here, because with this powerhouse of a duo with Tiny and Wisp, after they're able to get quick picks, they can follow it up very easily with objectives, and that's where Medusa is not doing so good. As the towers begin to crumble, her source and her outreach to go out and find the farm becomes much more restricted. You get a bit more nervous about moving out on your own, and next thing you know, you feel a bit more suffocated as far as where your income is coming from.
Yep, and even the solo Zeus going for the stacks here just to help out the Tiny even further. They're all looking to empower Ush. They're putting as much faith in Ush as eHug has been all week long putting in Yawar, and it is going to come down to just this clash of the Titans, and it is going to be rock on rock, the Stone Gaze versus the Mountain Giants, and I really can't wait to see when these guys actually collide. For the most part, Fire is going to be looking to actually avoid the Medusa, just kill all of her support and structure, and that crumbling will occur, but there is going to become a time where they do face off squarely, and I'm curious who will triumph in that engagement.
Do you think Tiny should be immune to Stone Gaze?
He is already rock hard.
And if he was, do you think it would be broke and it would be always like the anti-Medusa pickup? That just seems like such a funny lore thing. If they're already going to go as far as allowing Faceless Void to always work with, you know, Chronosphere, even if it's stolen by Rubik, it's just, it's funny to see how many people are just that anxious to make sure they stay true to the lore. But with that, he will not be invulnerable to the pesky Stone Gaze, as we saw already in the bottom lane, and will have to be cautious, and that is the problem when you have these man fighters, these melee man fighters who need to get up in your grill, in your face. The benefit, though, of having this Medusa Stone Gaze is almost in the same aspect as like Naga's song. It's just pretty much their opportunity to unleash whatever they want. Actually, I even see it better than a song, but for now, though, we could see a clash here, bottom lane Blaze. Smoke comes out. Oh, Demon wants to be there. Hook shot's going to connect on Yawar. Gets the cog setup, pushes Trout back, stun, follow through. Yawar annihilated immediately. Just brought down to hell, and now they're going to easily follow it through with a tier 1 tower that's already so low. It looks like eHug are going to have to get the hell out of here and just allow them to finish off what they started here.
Really difficult to respond to that quick of an initiation. The entire smoke, the entire team ready to rumble, and just the short stun on hookshot is enough for them to be able to follow through with the kill before Stone Gaze takes effect. So really nice there, and it's going to mean that Medusa really needs to put more and more points in the mana shield. Earlier on, it was a very efficient build to go just the 1 point in it, because you don't always have that much mana to play around with early game. But now, you just need to finish the Lincoln Sphere and get the max mana shield, or you're going to be dying that quickly every fight.
There's just so much burst on the side of Fire that maybe stepping off for the reliable Yasha just might not do. She needs the stats, she needs the girth, the durability, so that when the burst comes through, she can still withstand it. At least enough time for her allies to show up, maybe help out. But you could just see there with the potential that Brax brings, it's just not going to be too easy. Yawar has his hands full with this little boar pokage right now. Top lane, though, they do get their trade. Infinity on his Viper. It seems like he's been relatively quiet, sitting at 0-0-0. But this guy's also incredibly farmed. He is right behind Ush's Tiny for now. He has his Midas, mech already online, and 1,800 gold in his pocket. So this Viper could creep on you where you think your Ush and Tiny is going to be able to run all over the place. He'll be there, slowly kiting and withering him away.
So Ush a little disconcerted in his own jungle regions, as we do see MJW push on forward, looking for an opportunity. For now, it's going to be the push onto the tower itself. The Edict takes a few ticks on it, and then they're going to look to Nether Toxin it down at the next opportunity. But they don't want to go for a full clash now, and they know how difficult it is to disengage against this team. With the potential chase of Hookshot, with the Roar, with the Avalanche, there's so many potential for cancel TPs, and we're going to see Demon going mid.
Yep, there's the jump, relocate soon to follow. They just kind of set the stage in hopes that they can do it. There's going to be the toss combo. Yawar has no mana now to do the Stone Gaze, but they are happy to turn back, and with that, they live. Now the Lasso's going to catch on fucking Matt, who is nearby in the river trying to show up, but he's too late. By that point, he's the one who's going to get caught out, and eHug walk away the victors from this skirmish.
Yeah, really surprised that Yawar didn't cast a Stone Gaze earlier, but it turns out he's just tanky enough. The Lincoln Sphere complete, the mana shield doing its job, and they are actually able to get a lot of value out of that one. So they are able to turn it around, start building momentum the other way, and we're going to be seeing more and more initiations favoring eHug from this point forward. Like before it was Fire, they are the ones with their pedal to the metal. They are really just having their foot on the gas as they try to close this one out with a huge kill advantage. But I can see eHug taking some big wins now that they have the tools they need to initiate, to counter-initiate, and to repel the eHug supports.
Yeah, it feels like at this point Fire is supposed to be the ones who can get the upper hand. Already laying down a couple of aggressive wards, and the Hawk constantly being out. This was their time to make relocate plays, find picks, take down supports, take down the offlaner, everyone around Yawar, so that they could build up their own farm and maybe get a hold of them in due time. But they seem to have like a 25% rate of being able to succeed in some of these rotations and ganks, and eHug are going to be thriving more and more off of that. But there always is the pushing game, the objective gaming that Tiny can bring to the table here for Fire, so something to always think about.
Man. Through usage of skills alone, I think eHug actually has the better team fight right now, but it all comes down to initiation. Fire have so many ways to open the fight on the right terms, and they're also picking up some really good items. If we look at what's going to be coming out very shortly for Fire, we've got the Vladimir's offering coming up for Fluff and stuff. It's a very valuable +5 armor aura. And then the Tiny is going to be picking up the AC. That's +5 for them, -5 for the opposition. Finally, the Necronomicon is going to be coming up for fucking Mad, just now picking up Necro 1. And that gives a nice little aura, as well as, of course, providing some very good counter utility against Yawar. That he's going to be losing a lot of mana very quickly. And you also have an extra way of popping that Lincoln Sphere.
And with that, they're able to successfully push out this bottom lane into eHug territory, creating more space for themselves, because you see Ush duking it out with the big boy here. It's taking a little bit extra time. They put Fluff on the high ground position so he can comfortably give him that overcharge without being, you know, risk of being caught out. Now he needs the help from fucking mad to kind of tank up the damage a bit, but overall it is going to be a nice little behind the back play.
Demon creating space here. They're going to go with the relocate too. Ryuzawa is going to go down very quickly, but they don't actually bring the relocate in. He blade mails the finger of death, and the lion goes down. They get the Roche cleanly, and they don't even bother relocating for that lion kill. They're just like, okay, well, you've got the spikes, and you'll turn the damage anyway. So ends up being an offlaner for a support, but they get the Roche on top, and they can follow through with the tier 1.
Now, between the two going down, it almost ends up being kind of a wash, and with the Roche, it's definitely in favor for Fire, and they're looking to add pressure here potentially towards the mid lane. Lion is out of the picture. They don't have to worry about the burst of the finger if they want to make an engagement happen, but I guess for now they're forcing eHug to kind of play defensively in this mid lane, and they're like, nope, we're not going to push. We're going to go back and we're going to farm while you just sit there and wait nervously if the push is going to come or not. So they just prioritize building up farm while they have the momentum to bring in that farm faster and faster, even faster than this Medusa would be able to do so. I mean, Ush is just cleaning house whenever he gets a hold of a wave. He'll just go right through the jungle, back to the lane, maybe relocate it in for a potential gank, go back to Ancients later. He's going to be 6-slotted pretty damn fast.
And, I mean, we're going to be seeing some really nice improvements coming out. Demon has now Treads and the Urn of Shadows, so he has a lot of effective HP to go with Blade Mail. He can actually find solo kills. Not on the core heroes like Vector Medusa, but on a side support, he could easily pick a straggler, and there's nothing they can do. The Leshrac can barely cast within the cogs. He does have 4 staff to disengage, but if he finds Lion again, that is just a really nice pick. Actually, as we see it, Ward's coming out, so they're going to try to play even more defensively, but we see Zeus moving about frequently with this lightning bolt, and with so much mana regen, he can just keep spamming this and keep finding their vision. Yeah,
the nice benefit with that Soul Ring, he's going to have constant detection to make sure that eHug are going to be put in the dark more often than not. They do have one little defensive ward right here as they wait in that position. Fire kind of leeching and taking away from their jungle. And you're seeing a lot of eHug kind of just being that buddy-buddy system. Side by side, we haven't seen Bat really go on the hunt and prowl to try to get his next lasso gank. It just doesn't seem to be as easy anymore. Fire seems to be moving as a nice 5-man unit for now. And with that, eHug just kind of need to continue to stall out in hopes that Yawar can really bring it back. I do have to say, though, eHug will have a pretty formidable high ground defense. And it's not going to be easy to push into with a Bat constantly in the dark who could always snag and pull them back. Plus Stone Gaze and the multi-shot from Medusa can be quite the tear.
Yeah, the strategic positioning that you were kind of mentioning there is actually 100% accurate. The fact that eHug have to cluster is because of the relocate threat. Yawar is like the only one who can go by his own lonesome. We do see the Leshrac completely destroyed by the Brax ultimate, and this is going to be the free tier 2. Yawar will still get a lot of farm, though, as he pushes on the top lane.
You get your pick, you get your tower. You get your pick, you get your tower. It's very easy for someone like a Tiny. And with that, they're ready to put high ground underway here. Yep, let's go. Boom, bang. You gotta do something about it. Otherwise, it's gonna be big damage. This is without overcharge, and he has almost brought the tier 3 down. So finally they show up. They get their blink and lasso. Fluff, relocate to pull him away. He's got it. Ush is gonna be fine. Stone Gaze gets popped, but they turn their backs and they walk away. Tier 3 is gonna end up going down. They think they gotta fight as they still have the Aegis. Move forward. Oh, Primal Roar. Set up from the toss right there from Ush. And now it's Infinity who goes down. Lion to soon follow, and now your racks are being brought to the ground. Ush swatting it away and with his squad. Unbelievable. That just went from 0 to 60 at the drop of a hat. They just clear out the tier 2. They get their pick on Trout to lead things off, and they make good positioning. And Fluff, beautiful relocate to save Ush.
Exactly. The only way that they can actually hold that position there is if they get the lasso off successfully, which means you have to in some way stun the Wisp during the relocate charge up so that it cancels. So you could have maybe luckily flame breaked it. I don't think anybody else is really in range without a Blink Dagger. Lion, Lesh, they just can't get in the position. So it really comes down to like the luckiest flame break you've ever seen. Otherwise, yeah, the relocate will bail out the Tiny, and he doesn't even burn the Aegis to take their bottom lane. Absolutely insane. Now Medusa has an extremely tall order to carry this game. She is going to be building pretty much the perfect items for this situation. First, the Lincolns to actually survive those ganks. We saw how quickly she dodged without that kind of an item. Then the Yasha just casually picking it up to get a little bit more attack speed, movement speed, damage output in the fights. And now she's going to go for the Scotty, which is the ultimate efficiency item for Medusa in terms of survivability.
Fire just getting so rich, though, when you just look at how much they got after all that. You can see it by the graph. It just was kind of neck and neck, and then it just falls right down to hell for Fire. And, well, with that, your supports are getting that much richer. You got your Necro 3 easily complete on fucking Mad with still 1,200 gold in reserve. There's your Vlad's now in the hand of Fluff. So if they were already hard enough to face before, in this case, it's not going to get any easier. And it's not like eHug have been matching him on that farm. They've been reserving it most for Yawar. Put another tower onto that, and now it's just getting out of control. Ush, he reaches final form now, level 16. Look how big and badass he is. This is the definition of a serious fire raid boss.
Yeah, the Necronomicon is going to be in cooldown for a bit, so I don't know if they're going to go, but Brax will TP, and they have the relocate.
Oh!
Yes, they get the hug.
What a setup right there. They have Demon show up on the scene. First relocate, see you later, Medusa. Easy peasy right there for fire. Yawar not even safe, split pushing on the side.
Oh, Bat Rider, though. He's waiting for the rebound from IO.
Oh, and it's Fluff alone. Tries to go, but yeah, he's going to be the sacrifice. Had maybe he shown up with Tiny, it could have been a different game, but Fluff not going to be able to get the tether there, and he will go down. Just a little bit of a bonus right there. Infinity's the one to pick it up. Not too bad, considering it is an exchange for taking down the Medusa. I'm sure Fire are certainly happy about that. Does not feel like it's only a 6 to 8 game as far as kills go, but you look at really the overall grand scheme of things, it's Fire who are well in control, and we're going to see eHug quickly go on the defensive here in hopes that they can force Fire into an uncomfortable overthrow position or just have that strong of a high ground defense.
Brax actually in a really bad spot here. Will get some damage on Infinity. Blink out, but right into the open arms of the Bat Rider. Nice Yule to try to bail him out, but they've got so much slow with the Napalm, with the Viper Strike. Brax might turn it. One more spell is all he needs. Get the Mechanism, the 4-step out, and it's going to be a freebie.
Nope, it's not! No, it's not! Demon's there. Hook shot. How you doing? But, dog. Oh, the stun comes through. Ush cleans up what they started. Cog back. See you later. Hammers 1 down. Hammers 2 down. Triple kill for Ush. Oh, man. Brax stalls out just long enough. And Demon may have had a slow start, but those are 2 big hook shots that just make things even better for Fire. Desperate times right now for eHug as here he comes from the north. This should be another tier 2 tower grab for him.
Rizzo's dead. Solo to fucking Mad in the jungle. Just gets roared up. That's a blink dagger on your Beastmaster. He sees you with the hug. He will kill you, and he's got the Necros up to push in. Tier 3s are going to be dropping so damn quick with the Tiny and with the Beastmaster.
Ush moving in. He does not have Fluff nearby, but maybe eHug doesn't know that. Just casually throws out the stun and starts swatting it on this tier 3 with the Daedalus in hand. Now he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. He does force out the buyback from Infinity, while fucking Mad continues to pressure the mid lane with the help of that Necro book that he previously used to take down the Lion. Even that tier 3 is low. One more fight and it's Megas, Blaze. It's just gonna be that quick.
Now, I do think that actually Fire would benefit a lot from a ward up here on this plateau. Covering up the Secret Shop would allow them to maybe prevent Medusa from getting her Scotty cleanly, just walking over to the shop or doing the courier stuff. This is a spot that she is definitely going to be in, but oh my gosh, it's not a Scotty! It is not a fucking Eye of Scotty. This is a Sacred Relic. It's Rapier, boys.
This desperate times call for desperate measures, says Yawar. I'm going to need the Rapier Gaming to get this one back on its feet. Fire, do they know? He's in the lane. They'll see he has the relic if they scout it on out. So this could be 2 things. They got to play just a bit more reserve, or they got to get going right now before he gets it complete.
Yeah.
Oh, they're jumping on.
Yeah, they got relocate. I mean, they can keep him here.
Okay, he's trying to hold him there, keep him spotted out. Brax is going to show up. Maybe see if he can keep vision on him, but help is nearby with MJW's Bat Rider, so there is not going to be the opportunity to push in. But even then, I mean, let's say he gets the Rapier. Let's say he wins a big fight. I mean, I just feel like there's always now that opportunity. Does Ush have his boots of travel yet? Does not feel it's necessary quite yet. I imagine it's going to be one of the next things he goes for. With the Hawk and with everything else in relocate, I don't think even trucking down to the other side, because it could get to the point where it's only going to be UR who could try to make the push happen. But Tiny just takes structure so damn fast, and as you can see, he takes Roach just as fast, Blaze. It's just a slaughter. And no bottom lane. Yeah, they make the hook forward. Yawar's going to be in trouble. Stone Gaze popped. Could save him for now. Nice burst onto Fluff. Yawar tries to turn back, but Ush is going to be frozen solid here. And it is going to be enough for eHug to make their getaway, but it does cost them the Stone Gaze. So eHug now have one less defensive tool, a very important one, mind you. So Fire might look to finish this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really hard hold. Even if they had the Demon Edge right now, I'm not confident in their ability to defend it. We saw how effective Mana Burn is against that Medusa. The Necronomicon immediately burning out some mana, the Hog knockback even burning some, and from there she just doesn't have the survivability she needs without that Scotty. And there's MJW, a nice Linken's, but Ush, no relocate.
They pull him so deep that maybe they can't get a hold of him. He does have the Aegis, so they expend a lot to get the 1 life down. It's going to be just the single Primal Roar onto Trout, who could be brought down momentarily. The 4-step's going to get Ush back into position here. Maybe they consider going back for the objectives, and they do. It's a very important match. So Ush goes right for the Rex. Nope, never mind. I want Bat Blood. Boom! See you later.
It's double.
Yeah.
Wow.
The cleave is real. And now the Rex go down. It looks like it could be a quick game 1 here in favor for Fire. eHug, got to look to shake this one off. And Blaze, of all the teams, this is one you need to consider banning that Wisp early on.
Most definitely. It's not been a problem in the past month or so. Only a few games here and there that Plus picked it up, but when he does, he is just so dominant on this hero. He is actually just so amazing as far as global sense. They've been making great plays happen.
Blaze, I feel it.
Up the goat, man. Taking the mega creeps. This has just been a supremely amazing game of Fire Dota.
He hits so hard. I mean, eHug's family's feeling it at this point, but they get their win. GG's going to be called, and it doesn't take very long for them to execute. Just a couple of swift grabs and ganks, and next thing you know, I mean, with the help that they got from that farm, Ush had that huge Ancient stack. Next thing you know, beautifully timed Aghanim Scepter. They get the quick and easy Rosh, and there's really no looking back from that point, Blaze. It was Fire all the way.
Yeah, it really was, and I love the draft, but I don't think they're going to get another chance to draft this one up. eHug is going to be banning out the Wisp for the remainder of the series, and they're going to try to play something a little bit different, and Fire, obviously, they're flexible. They've played a lot of different styles over the past few days, and we'll have to see what style they bring to game 2.
And with that, we'll wrap things up. We're going to go right back into game number 2. It is a best of 5, but it's Fire who have the advantage with the game 1 victory. With that, we'll wrap things up. Support us on our Twitter at KotLGuy, at BlazeCasting, and of course our Statsman at KartDota. And be sure to also support Beyond the Summit by hitting that follow button right down there. Stick around, folks. We got a lot more Fallout Majors action coming your way.